Oh, good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Tuesday, September 26th. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, joined by my co-host, Mr. TC Stills. Watch this intro, and we will be right back.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's okay. It's okay. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Yeah, take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Oh yeah, really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's okay. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Yeah, take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Yeah.
Oh, like I said, good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Tuesday, September 26th. All you Yankee fans out there, wake up and get your coffee. TC, how are you feeling, big fella?
Well, trying to wake up. Flight got delayed last night. I got in here, California, about 2 o'clock in the morning. So trying to just wake up and I got my coffee. But I'll tell you what, great weekend despite the rain. Meeting you and the guys, indeed. Man. I tell you, Hector, man, you're great dude. Man, it was awesome. Meeting you and Tats and Pete and Jira and all the gang, all the guys out there. It was, we were bummed a little bit because the game got rained out, but you know what? It was Saturday when we all met up. It was well worth it, and then we also got to go to the game on Sunday. But man, great trip. Loved every minute. Can't wait to come back.
No, it was definitely a good time. As you guys know, Saturday's game, it got rained out. Right, we were supposed to be in the Aldi Suite Saturday. Shout out to my brother Pete Simonetti. Shout out to everybody from NYYU because we still showed up and we had a good time. We showed up. We went to Patsy's in New Rochelle. It was an amazing time. If you guys aren't following NYY Universe on Twitter, on Instagram, go ahead because Jira put out amazing photos, amazing videos. It was just a great time overall. But we've come to the last series, the last games at Yankee Stadium. No more games at the stadium for 2023. There's only 6 games left of the season. No, 7 games left of the season. The Yankees are flying to Toronto right now, or they should be already in Toronto, but they got a game tonight against the Toronto Blue Jays. Hopefully the Yankees can play spoiler, but it's been a sad season, but at the same time, it's been a season that had some bright spots because there has been some bright spots with the 2023 season when it comes to the New York Yankees. We saw the young kids getting called up in September. We saw Jason Dominguez, even though he got injured, he'll be back. Jason Dominguez didn't fall off. He didn't fall off of the face of the earth. He'll be back next year. It just depends when he will be back. He has to recover from that Tommy John surgery. We also seen Austin Wells, who had his second home run in the big leagues yesterday to tie up the game. That was an amazing feeling inside the stadium. And talking about the game, I was at the game yesterday. Uncle Tats was at the game yesterday. Pete was at the game yesterday. Shout out to Jonathan as well from the chat because he was at the game yesterday. A bunch of us was there. Carlos with a K. And it's funny because they announced, the New York Yankees announced an attendance of like 41,000 people. That was the announcement. I don't even think it was 4,100 people in the stadium. There was maybe more than 2,000 or 3,000 people. And that's just me being generous. Yesterday at the stadium, it was a ghost town at the stadium, right? You saw pockets of areas in the stadium where the seats were just open, completely open. We got our tickets for the cheap seats in the 400. I was sitting in the right field stands right by the foul pole, right in the front. That's how empty it was. We got to a point where the security guard was like, listen, you guys could go to the front. You just got to wait to the 4th inning. When the 4th inning comes, do your thing. I was like, copy, cool. 4th inning came, went down there. But it was still a good time at the stadium. And I'm glad the Yankees ended that game, last game at the stadium, with a win. What's your thoughts, TC?
Yeah, they ended on a good note. I mean, because you didn't want to get swept by Arizona. They're playing spoilers. That was a good game, good comeback. I mean, 3 runs there in the 8th inning. you know, and Peraza with a home run, and you know, breaking through there. That was a good moment, at least to you know, to salvage what's been an awful season. So
up and down, up and down.
Yeah, up and down. But overall, I mean, the team was out of it like in June, July, and you know, they never recovered. But yeah, I mean, it was the same thing on Sunday. I think they said the same thing, 40,000, and there might have been 6,000.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah,
Like Steve says, attendance numbers are based on tickets sold, not actual attendance. So they're not like counting how many tickets were scanned in or anything like that.
So are we? I know, is Pete gonna make any more announcements about if you guys have bought tickets to the Audi
because if you guys brought tickets, right, they're gonna save them for next year, April 20th. They spoke to the guy from Yankee Stadium yesterday. Awesome guy. He came down to see Pete. Great conversation. But Pete will announce that on his channel. I don't want to put out any false or misinformation, but how I interpret it is these tickets will be valued and will be good for next year. So they're locking in the date for April 20th. They are also making an addition to it, adding extra tickets in case more people want to buy a ticket. If you weren't able to buy your tickets for this time around, you should be able to buy them for next April. Like I said, April 20th. Again, make sure you guys hear it from Pete and from Jira, because I don't want to put out information that I'm mistaken with, right? So from how I understand it, like I said, the ticket should be good for next year. If you were able to come to the stadium yesterday, they were handing out vouchers for 2 tickets for any games next year, right? So if you were able to come to the stadium yesterday, you got a voucher, and that voucher was good for 2 tickets next year at the stadium. They didn't give out the bobbleheads, but they did give out those vouchers for the tickets. But before we continue, TC, before we get into any conversations, let's do a little bit of the roll call, because we didn't do the roll call. Shout out to my guy Sean Browning that's in the chat. Sean Browning, what it do? Salute, salute, salute. My guy Jacob Patuzzi's in the building. Jacob, how you doing? Uncle Grandpa Tats in the Pinstripe Chronicles. That's my Uncle Tats right there. I had an awesome time hanging out with Tats yesterday, and even after the game. Shout out Anna Marie LeBeau that's in the chat. Anna Marie, I hope all is well. Anna Marie, you got to message us as well, because we got to set it up that you come to the stadium with us next year. I don't care what game it is. We'll try to get some tickets, because you won the ticket for the giveaway, but we weren't able to go to the game together. So in a game that you're able to join us, and we got to have a good conversation during that game. Shout out to my guy Jonathan, who is in the building. What it do, Jonathan? Salute, salute, salute. Dev Finch is in the building. How you doing, Dev? Hope all is well. Li Yankee King, the only troll in the Yankee universe we acknowledge is my guy Li. Shout out to Li. Big time Jerry's in the building. Oh, Jerry, how you doing? Salute, salute, salute. My guy Ness is in the building. Ness, the baseball guy, salute. NFE is in the building. And we got 51 of you fine people here. So if you guys can, please smack that like button. But TC, let's get ready to get into the first conversation of today. Like I said, the New York Yankees have been officially eliminated from the postseason over the weekend. We all knew a couple of weeks ago, we all come to the realization that the Yankees were going to be making a postseason. Well, guess what? Mathematically, we have been eliminated over the weekend. And what is upsetting to me, and guys in the chat, folks in the chat, let me know as well if this is upsetting to you. Shout out to my guy AK47. I can't forget AK, because my guy AK will let me know.
Yeah,
but
don't forget it.
When it comes to the Yankees, do you know that over the last 26 games, the New York Yankees have a record of 17-9 in the last 26 games, which gives them the best record in baseball over the past 26 games.
Wow.
Of course, they would turn it on at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And of course, they would tease us at the end of the season. But TC, even though the Yankees are eliminated, is it still good to end the season, in your opinion, with some momentum, not completely flat? What's your thoughts on that? People in the chat, let us know as well. Go ahead.
You know, and the fans are frustrated with the front office and not making moves. And not bringing up the kids. And then now we finally bring up the kids, and look, here we go. And we go 17-9. So, you know, it's unfortunate that it is too little too late. But, you know, I myself, I'm looking forward to next season with some hope, you know, with make a couple key trades and moves and some free agent pickups. And I don't see why not. I don't see why not they can't compete next year. I mean, they got to be smart. Cashman's got to be smart, and Hal might need to come in there and, you know, pull in the reins and say, hey, you know what? You're not making that deal. Let's go. We got to go all in on, you know, so-and-so, if it's Yamamoto, if it's Bellinger, whatever the case. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next season. I can't wait, because I mean, there's no postseason. So
whatever happens, right? We got to understand the status quo that has been going on since 2019. That philosophy, it's run its course, and it didn't work out. Right? From 2019 to now 2023, it's been about 4 to 5 seasons. The philosophy that you guys try to put in place back then in 2019, hiring Dylan Lawson, getting big into analytics, that didn't work out. So now we have to switch it. You heard the comments from Aaron Judge. We'll get into those comments momentarily. I just want to highlight a few Yankee fans on Twitter. Just shout out my guy Angry Mike. If you guys don't follow Angry Mike, make sure you guys follow my guy Angry Mike. He's hilarious on Twitter. When the Yankees missed the playoffs in 2008, George Steinbrenner went nuclear and went all in free agency. In 2026, Hal Steinbrenner signed Matt Holliday after the Yankees missed the postseason. I wish George and Stick Michaels was still running the team. I get it. Some Yankee fans, they point to 2008 missing the postseason. What did the boss do going into the 2009 season? And then he brings up a good point after 2026, when the Yankees missed the postseason. 2027, it was a not a rebuild, but it was coming off of what was a rebuild. You can say, Yankee fans, we can say 2016 to 2017 was a rebuild. We did sign Matt Holliday, but we signed Matt Holliday to be that veteran presence in the locker room for the young kids that were coming up. Aaron Judge, Gary Sanchez, we had a young Gleyber Torres in the minor league system. So this was all about having veterans to help the young kids get along. That 2017 team was the last time, that was the closest we got to the World Series. We didn't expect that going into the season. This year, going into 2023, we expected the team to be better than last year.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, the front office didn't make key moves to improve that team. And obviously, this season turned out the way it is because of that reason. TC, I'll throw it over to you for a second. Folks in the chat, let us know, how should they target this offseason?
Yep. I mean, we've been saying it over and over and over. The Cole and Judge years are getting fewer at the minute. The window is closing, and we can't waste those years. We got to go all in with putting the pieces behind them. Again, we don't need to go out and, you know, break the bank and get all superstars, but make some key acquisitions. You know, do your research, bring in good contact hitters, bring in a solid, a young pitcher that's gets people out, has high strikeouts. There's moves to make out there to put around these young kids. We can't go into a season with all young kids. We just can't do that.
No,
you can't be judging the prospects. That's not what we're going to do. But there's some guys that I like Austin Wells and Peraza. Dominguez will be back sometime next season. So we have some guys there that can take us to the next level. But this front office they have a lot of work to do. As I was discussing, with my brother and my dad. I mean, they got a lot of work to do, and this offseason has to be like one for the books. It's got to be an 08, 09 offseason. It has to be.
Yeah. It definitely has to be. Now, when it comes to certain contracts that are on the books, you can't be scared to spend money. You got to do what you got to do. You can't be complacent, because Steve Cohen, he's just sitting over there in Queens waiting with his checkbook to bounce, and you cannot lose, especially after losing after not making the postseason to that offseason, losing the back page war with Steve Cohen in New York City. As an owner in New York City, as an owner of a professional baseball team, you cannot lose the back page war to the second-tier team in New York City. You can't lose to the boys in Queens. So Hal Steinbrenner, you got to do what you got to do to make moves this offseason, right? My guy Yankee Source on Twitter also said the Yankees missing the playoffs is a result of complacency and a serious lack of accountability. These two things, those two things that need to change next year. Absolutely. We talked about it all the time. Accountability, accountability, accountability. It seems there is no more accountability in that front office and when it comes to the coaching staff. Now, when we take the step back and we look at the front office and we look at the coaching staff, there's two things that we can say. Both Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman, whether we like it or whether we hate it, both of those guys will be back next year. That's the first bit of reality. Us Yankee fans, we have to come to grasp it. We may not want that to be the reality, but it is the reality, right? Both Cashman and Boone will be back just because Cashman has been with the team for 30 years, and this is the worst season out of those 30 years. So out of those 30 years, he missed the postseason like what, 3 to 4 times? When you look at it on face value, that's a good record. On face value, that's a good record. My issue is Yankee fans that watch the games every day, like everyone that's in this chat, like my guy Steve Schumann, Adam Landsman, Dan C, NFE, Don Sicario, UTC, your pops, your brother. We watch every game. We're invested into every game. Yankee fans that are watching the games every day. We are smart baseball fans. That's what we understand the game. We watch the game. We use our eyes. We've been following this team 20, 30, 40, even to your pops from the 50s for a very long time. It's just when us fans start getting vocal and we start vocalizing our concerns when it comes to Aaron Hicks, when it comes to Joey Gallo, when it comes to Josh Donaldson, et cetera, we get looked like we're stupid. We get looked like we don't know what we're talking about. But after it doesn't work out and you cut that player, it seems like us fans know what we're talking about. So what I need the front office to do this off season, listen to the fan base. You did it last off season. You signed Carlos Rodon. That was perfect. Now let's do it again this off season.
Work on that.
Shout out to my guy Blue Gold that's in the chat, and it was actually 5 times: 2008, 2013, 2014. 2023, and I think 2016 as well. We didn't make the postseason in 2016 as well. Blue Gold. Shout out to my guy Blue Gold. Yeah, but go ahead, TC. What's your thoughts on that before we switch it up to the next topic?
Yeah, and also, I mean, we put a lot of blame on Cashman. Yeah, he put these guys, together, and some of these contracts just didn't work out. But again, again, it's kind of accountability. We got to blame these players. These players didn't perform. I mean, and unfortunately, some of these, a lot of injuries, but we can't blame the injuries. But the season that LeMahieu had, the season that Stanton had, and Rizzo, unfortunately, with his injury, and and Donaldson didn't work out, and going into the season with Hicks and Cabrera as a left fielder, everybody just didn't produce. The only guy that stayed real consistent despite the injury was Aaron Judge. You can count on him at 35 home runs. He still, drove in 70 runs, close to 300 average. He was the only guy that was consistently producing for this team. And we can't win a game with just one guy. And even I was listening to the Padres broadcast, and they were saying, why are you even pitching to Judge? He's the only guy. These guys were saying that, like, embarrassing the Yankees. He is the only guy in the lineup I'm afraid of. And that's how teams are approaching it. They don't care about Glaber or Stanton or any like. They don't. And that's embarrassing. Our team used to be full of guys, full of stars, full of athletes and good players around, the main guys in our line. Now it's just Judge and nobody. And that has to change. And us fans we're getting fed up. Because we're regressing. We should be getting better. This year should have been better than last year, and we fall on our face. We don't even make the playoffs. Last year was bad because of the postseason, the way it ended, getting swept by Houston. But this year was supposed to be better than that. We were supposed to actually now get over that hump, and we're going backwards. So what does that say about the front office? They just, I don't know. They don't know what they're doing. They don't care. And it is complacency. They just, we could see it at the trade deadline. They didn't know what to do. They didn't make up their mind. They'd rather just, we'll just worry about the money, worry about putting the people in the seats, and they didn't care about winning. So that's got to change for next year. I sure hope Hal has more say or brings in somebody that really changes this around. So
I want to shout out someone in the chat that made me chuckle just now. Shout out to GOLV who says Bauer, McKinney, Cordero, Greg, whatever that chubby William Hung guy. That's not a Yankee outfield. I think he was talking about Willie Big Bang Calhoun.
Calhoun.
Gio. That's a fact, right? We talked about it all season that we had young guys in the minor leagues that were ready to come up. Bauer, he was very serviceable with the Yankees. McKinney, very serviceable. Same thing with Cordero, Greg, and Big Bang Willie Calhoun. They were very serviceable for the Yankees. Those aren't players that are going to get you over the hump. Those players aren't difference makers when it comes to do you make the postseason or don't you make the postseason. Those players that we just mentioned aren't those type of players.
But Hector, we can't have a team full of those guys. That's the thing. We had our core players, and we would plug in, like a Shane Spencer or Ricky Leday or one or two, not a whole outfield full of utility guys. So sorry, go ahead.
But even with Shane Spencer and even with Ricky Leday, even with Juan Rivera, those three players that I just mentioned, they contributed more than a Bowers, than a McKinney, than a Frenchie Cordero. Like even those players that you mentioned saying we need to sprinkle them in, they were better than the options that we threw out there, right? So that's what I'm saying. You cannot predict injuries, right? Yes, Giancarlo Stanton, he takes vacation time during the season, but you can't predict Anthony Rizzo getting a concussion and not being the same for the last 3 months of the season. You can't predict that. DJ LeMahieu and his struggles, right? That was a concern to us, but we thought that he was going to bounce back. Gleyber Torres, he was struggling in the beginning part of the season. You can't predict any of that. You can't predict Aaron Judge running through the outfield war. But what you can do, you can address the need in left field. We have been looking for a left fielder for how many years? I think since Hideki Matsui retired, we've been looking for a left fielder. Honestly, TC, we haven't had a consistent left fielder, and that has hurt us over the past couple of seasons.
And Gardner, since Gardner too.
Since Brett Gardner, I should say. Yeah, so since Brett Gardner, we haven't had a consistent left fielder. And it's been a very long time since Brett Gardner has not been a part of this team.
Yeah,
TC.
like 4 years
also,
now.
We got 53 in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button. But let's shift gears momentarily. As I shift gears, I will highlight some of the chats. But we got to talk about Aaron Judge, the captain, because he came out and, like my guy Gary Phillips on Twitter said, Aaron Judge added that he planned to be a part of the internal talks about what the Yankees should do. And Aaron Judge said he got some ideas. My guy Max Goodman also put out there on Twitter, the Yankees won't take the field here at Yankee Stadium for another 191 days. I'm very curious to see how much, if at all, this team and organization has changed by then. As Aaron Judge said last night, there is a lot of needs to be fixed, and the captain hit it on the head. Now, whether that's the training staff, whether that's some of the coaching staff, whether that's some of the front office, we don't know. TC, what's your thoughts? And people in the chat, let us know as well.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that interview, and me and my brother were laughing. Like, Judge is all in. I mean, he's like, I got some ideas. It's kind of a jab at the front office, and
just a little bit.
I mean, if I'm him, I'm in the meetings. I'm bringing Garrett Cole, and we're sitting down with Cashman and Hal and the analytic team or whoever, and say, this can't go on. I didn't re-sign with the Yankees to go out and get embarrassed and not make the playoffs and come in, almost last place. So he's all in, and he wants to win. He might be a little more low key, but I know he's a winner deep down. It gets to him. I'm sure it gets to him because he got his money, he got his contract, but the guy, he's that type of guy. He's a winner. And it's embarrassing. It's got to be embarrassing for him to go out there and have this team around him and just fall on their face. It's just honestly, he speaks facts. Like he has ideas. So I'd love to hear some of his ideas because we all want to see a change, and I'm sure he does too. So I just hope it's not like this quote from Max Goodman, and we see the same team out there. That's going to be a shame.
Yeah, and I think all of us that are Yankee fans, those of you guys that are in the chats, UTC, I think it's safe for me to say that when you reflect back on the 2023 New York Yankees, the two guys that were constant for us and the two guys that can talk and say whatever they want to say going into the 2024 season is both Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge. I think both Cole and Judge will be a part of those conversations. To the capacity of it, I don't know. How much their voice will be listened to, I don't know. But all I hope is that the front office includes the both of them on these conversations. Because if there's 82 Yankees that should be included in the conversations, it should be Aaron Judge and it should be Garrett Cole. It shouldn't be Gleyber Torres.
A lot of money in them.
It shouldn't be Anthony Rizzo, and it shouldn't be DJ LeMahieu or Giancarlo Stanton. Right? No. Those we can agree shouldn't be in those conversations. But I think we agree that it should be Judge and it should be Garrett Cole. And like Anna Marie says, Cole should be the co-captain.
I agree.
I think he's an official. He's an unofficial co-captain of the New York Yankees. I think this season you've seen Garrett Cole step up from a leadership aspect that we haven't seen. And honestly, I think we've all been waiting for Garrett Cole to turn into this version of Garrett Cole. You had Yankee fans last season and the season before TC that saying he was a bust, he was a wash. The Yankees should have never signed him. Look what happened when Garrett Cole finally gets comfortable in New York City. He had probably one of the best seasons of his career. Definitely one of the best seasons from a New York Yankees starting pitcher since like Ron Guidry back in the days.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, well, I mean, they also, were blaming that spider tack. So they thought, he was winning games just because of that. But he's proved that this year. And if this offense could have scored some runs for him, he could have been a 20-game winner. I have no doubt. I mean, ERA in the low, 2.8, 2.7. You got to win game. You got to win almost every one of Cole's games. And we did it. We left a lot of those out, on the table, and that, we didn't take advantage of that. So Cole has every right to be part of this this decision making with Aaron Judge. I agree with Anna. I think he should be co-captain. It's great to see that he's living up to this contract, because a lot of us, we're all about what are you doing for me lately? What are you doing on the field? Are you living up to your contract? Are you a bust? And Cole, he's right in the middle of his deal, and it sucks that we wasted this season. It really does, and we had nobody really kind of back him up, but. I'm sure his voice will be heard this offseason, and I'm sure both him and Judge have a lot to say about what they need to do.
No, definitely. And guys, also, we got 51 of you guys in the building. If you guys are watching this for the first time, please hit that subscribe button. We are sitting at 1,464 subscribers, on our way to 1,500 and beyond. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. We are right around the corner. So if you're watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button, join the conversation in the chat, and also hit that like button. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Joseph El Caputo from the Shift. Joe? Make sure you guys go follow my guy from the Shift. Make sure you guys follow the Big Blue and the Big Blue Brew. No, the Big Blue Brew podcast over here. Joe, I had a brain fart real quick. Joe talks
there's a rumor. There's a rumor that you're joining Joe on the show.
Well, I may fill in as Joe's co-host. It's still Joe's show. I may go and hang out with Joe because Joe's a friend of Power Rangers. I'm a friend of Power Rangers.
There you go. That's right.
We share a lot of similarities. But shout out to my guy Joseph in the chat, and also shout out to my guy NFE that's in the building. My guy Gio put a chat in the chat. Hold on. He said, "I want to believe that Judge has a say in that room, but I doubt the Yankee machine will listen. Cole also sounds like he wants to opt out. He talked about the Pirates like the girl that got away. That's interesting because Cole, he has that option to opt out during the offseason. If he wins the Cy Young, he's coming off of a Cy Young season.
Right.
Should we be concerned about Garrett Cole opting out and potentially leaving the Yankees after this great season? I'm gonna throw it over to you, TC. Folks in the chat, are you nervous yet? Do you have any concerns of Garrett Cole opting out and leaving us, like Gio said, for the Pirates? What's your thoughts, TC?
Yeah, as a fan, I'm very concerned because I saw Cole's frustrations, and Aaron Judge at the beginning of the year, when he was going through his contract negotiations with Hal promised him, yes, we're going to bring in a championship caliber team. We're going to do all we can to put some pieces around him. He lied. They didn't do it. So Cole sees that as, hey, if I'm not part of these conversations this offseason and they aren't making any moves to improve this team and even care about it, yeah, I'm very concerned as a fan that he possibly can opt out.
And correction, the opt-out is after the 2024 season, not this season.
Okay.
So we good.
Okay.
We don't got to worry about anything this
I'm
offseason.
still worried.
But next offseason, you got to worry about next offseason. Shout out to the chat also. My guy, Damian Serrano. Damian Serrano says, no, not at all. Yankees will give him the extra year and will squash that. When it comes to the Pirates, I'm not concerned about the Pirates because the Pirates they've never been known as the team to open up their wallets and spend big time in free agency. So I'm not worried about the Pittsburgh Pirates. What I am worried about, if the Dodgers lose out on Ohtani, I can see the Dodgers trying to get Garrett Cole. And I think that's the team we got to worry about. If the Dodgers lose Ohtani to Seattle or to the New York Mets, I think the Yankees have to worry about the Dodgers coming in and trying to offer Garrett Cole a big-time contract. I think that's the team we got to worry about. Anyone else, not too sure. But the Dodgers, for what you just said, Urias, he's definitely not going to be pitching in baseball anymore. His second time with domestic violence. He'll be gone. He was going to be a free agent anyway. So the Dodgers don't got to worry about offering him money anymore. So they would wait. And with the holes that they have in their starting rotation, I think the Dodgers will be the number one target
getting old
for Garrett Cole. Absolutely.
Yeah. And also Yamamoto. Dodgers are going to be all in on Yamamoto
big
as well.
Time into Yamamoto.
That's another guy that
are going to have some competition for Yamamoto. They definitely are. Shout out to my guy Dan C in the chat. Dan C says the only good thing that might come out of the season is if Cashman no longer has any credibility with Howe, Judge, and Cole. Absolutely. If Brian Cashman doesn't do what he has to do this offseason to fix the team going into 2024, if the 2024 Yankees, if we start the season under 500, first 20 games out the books, and we are 11-11, or we are 9-13, or anything like that, Brian Cashman's going to fill it. Us fans, Hal Steinbrenner, the front office will fill it from this fan base. So it is very important that they do what they got to do in the offseason and have a good start to the season. I want to shout out my guy, Yankee Frankie, in the chat with the $5 super chat. What do you think is the Yankees offseason blueprint? I think they need to sign a left fielder, sign Yamamoto, trade Ryan McCann. Wait, Ryan McCann. Trade Glaber and sign Blake Snell. What do you
trade for?
McMahon. Who trade for? Okay, Ryan McMahon. Okay. Trade Glaber Torres and sign Blake Snell. I think the Yankees will focus everything on Yamamoto. Blake Snell will be a second option for the Yankees. One, Blake Snell most likely is going to win the Cy Young in the National League.
Right.
So that means he's going to command big time money. Yeah. He could command 30 to 35 million because he won the Cy Young. When it comes to Yamamoto, he may be in the price range of 20 to 25 million. So Yamamoto may be the cheaper option than a Blake Snell.
Yeah.
And I think with the Yankees, especially with how they've been operating over the past several years, the Yankees normally don't go after the number one expensive item. They like to go for the second tier or the third tier item. Yes, they went after Garrett Cole, but besides Garrett Cole, They like to settle for that second and third tier. What's your thoughts on that, TC?
Well, this year they did get Rodon, so that was a good surprise that they actually went out and spent money to get another supposed ace. He didn't pitch like an ace, but in the past he has. But like you said, the Dodgers are going to throw red carpet out for Yamamoto. I mean, they'll be enticing all kinds of guys to come. We gotta stop with the holding back, penny pinching. Gotta throw out the money. Got to go after these guys. I keep saying it. 08, 09 off season. Got to go out and get like a Sabathia and get a Teixeira. They got to get those. They have to. They have to. There's no more. Like the chat keeps saying, no more dumpster diving, DFA guys. You guys. Look in the mirror. You are the New York Yankees. Start acting like the New York Yankees.
Yeah. And AK-47 makes an interesting point. I want to ask you guys in the chat. I want to ask you, TC, as well.
Yeah.
AK-47 says, Hector and TC, did you get the sense that Judge during his interview when he said guys need to want to be here? Do you take that like some players didn't want to be here? Absolutely. Right. And let's take a step back and let's look at the players that didn't succeed here with the Yankees over the past 5 years, right? Look at Joey Gallo. He didn't succeed here. Josh Donaldson. He didn't work out here. Aaron Hicks had one good season, got that contract extension, got some injuries, never worked out here. Andrew Benintendi. When we traded for Andrew Benintendi, he was leading baseball in the American League with a .320 batting average. He hit .250 for the New York Yankees when he got here. All 5 of those players that I mentioned, they came to the Yankees via a trade. They didn't come to the Yankees via free agency. So we don't know if Josh Donaldson really wanted to be a Yankee. We don't know if Aaron Hicks really wanted to be a Yankee. We don't know if Andrew Benintendi or Joey Gallo really wanted to be a Yankee. We've seen Anthony Rizzo embrace being traded to the Yankee and being a Yankee and falling in love with the city. None of those guys that I mentioned, you've seen them embrace the city. So like AK-47 said, we got to get back into getting players that want to be here. Go out there in free agency and sign players that choose to come to the New York Yankees. Yes, you could trade for a player, but when you trade for a player, ultimately, you don't know if they want to be here or not. So when you trade for them and then they start performing at a level that is worse than you've seen on the back of their baseball card, it makes you scratch your head and wonder, hey, do they even want to be here? Do they even want to embrace this city? Do they even want to embrace its fan base? Because when you look at it, the obvious answer is no. TC, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. But when you look at like when they got Hicks, I think at the time he really wanted to be a Yankee. I mean, he had potential, but as the years went on and we saw injuries hit and his numbers just totally crashed. Yeah, he didn't want to be here anymore. Some players they just can't take the criticism, the boos. That's what the Yankee fans do. If you don't produce, you're going to hear the boos. So he couldn't handle it. Josh Donaldson's another one. I believe that, when he heard his name, I'm getting traded to the Yankees. I think it was like, again, he didn't come through, couldn't take the boos. Joey Gallo, another, he could not handle the spotlight, not performing. So New York's not for everybody. Nope. I don't know if it's like, do they want to be here? They don't realize how much pressure is on you as a New York Yankee. It's not like a Pittsburgh Pirate. It's not like a Kansas City Royal. It's not even if you want to say the Dodgers, not even really as much as that. When you're a New York Yankee, you're in the spotlight every day, constantly in the news. If you're not performing, these fans will get all over you. So we got to get mental tough guys that, can handle the pressure, like a Derek Jeter. That guy brushed off everything. He just focused on baseball. He didn't care about the noise here and the noise there. We need mental toughness, and that's another thing they need to look for.
Shout out my guy Angel Serrano in the chat who says, Hector, Bushwick is in the house. home of the Cuchi Fritos. Absolutely, my guy. Right off of Bushwick Ave under the L train. That's right there, my guy. Salute to my guy, Angel, in the chat. Unpopular Opinions says we have to take a page out of the Phillies book, not boo our guys so much, and try a positive reinforcement.
Sure.
I'm not sure if the Yankees will do that, but to what he's saying. Hold on, but to what he's saying, right? The Phillies fans of Philadelphia have been known notoriously to be horrible sports fans. They've been known to boo their players consistently. The Philly fans, they did it differently this year, right? They decided to cheer Trey Turner. They cheered Trey Turner, and at a turn of events, Trey Turner actually switched his season around. He went from hitting like what, Pop? I think it was like under 200 or barely 200 to finishing the last month of the season hitting over 350 or over 360. So something worked. But when it comes to what Pop said, I don't think us Yankee fans would ever do that, because us Yankee fans, we don't forget. We hold receipts, and we are some petty bastards. I'll tell you that. Shout out to my guy, Tyler Tabby, that's in the chat. Tyler, I'm so upset I didn't see you this weekend, my guy. But shout out to my guy, Tyler, who says, sign Yamamoto, trade for Soto, sign Hader, trade Torres, sign Candelario, and a stopgap center fielder until Dominguez is ready to go. Oh, we're going to get into the conversations about Juan Soto. We'll definitely get into the conversation about Juan Soto. But I want to shout out my guy, KC Funtime, who says Stanton is a big problem. Horrible stats over the last 2 seasons. I hope a miracle happens and they can actually move on from him. Absolutely, Casey. I think all of us Yankee fans, if that was to happen, I think none of us would be upset. Maybe so, but that's about it. My guy Gio says, we have the best YouTubers in the country. Thank God, because otherwise it'll be like watching North Korean propaganda all day on the Yes Network. Thank you, guys. Keep up the good work. I'm out, chat. Gio, I appreciate you and those fine words. And this is why I always say, make sure you guys go and support all the other different Yankee content creators that are out there. Shout out to my guys, Kevin, Mario, who are coming to the NYY universe with the Bronx or Nothing podcast. Shout out to my brother, Pete Seminetti, my guy, Joseph Caputo from The Shift, Jason from 161 River Ave, my guy, Derek from NYY Recaps, and of course, Gio from Unpopular Opinion in Sports. They do amazing work as Yankee content creators. That's why I always say, make sure you support whichever content creator you guys like. If you guys are fans of Fireside Yankees, if you guys are fans of Locked On Yankees, everybody, they do the good work in whatever section or sector of the Yankees fandom they operate in. Everybody puts out amazing good work. Make sure you guys go and support everybody. My guy Jonathan Taylor in the chat says Juan Soto would be the perfect fit for the New York Yankees. All right. Since we're talking about that, let's switch it up, right? Because we got to talk about our wish list for the 2024 season. Since everyone wants to talk about Soto and bring up Yamamoto and bring up Cody Bellinger, let's talk about our wish list for the 2024 New York Yankees. This is a segment we're going to start doing over here on the Yankees Morning Brew. It's called the wish list. So every week, we're going to just be throwing names into the wish list. And then the following week on that Friday, we'll make a graphic and we'll start pulling up everyone's wish list. But let's do it. Would you guys want Yoshi? You guys want Cody? You guys want Juan Soto? TC, I'm going to start off with you. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, on my wish list, I think Yamamoto is my number.
Oh, TC, I'm sorry. There you go. Go ahead.
There I am. Okay. Let me check my computer here. Yeah. So for me, Yamamoto's up my number one get. Yeah, I gotta solidify the pitching staff. I'm on the fence about Bellinger because I think the contract and the years it might be too long and too much. But he's a perfect fit, for center or for first. Juan Soto, I mean, he's that trade might take all our prospects, all like Dominguez and Spencer Jones and Pereira and Peraza. I mean, it might just wipe us all out. But you know, that's a dream to have all three of these guys would be fantastic. But there's some other guys out there. I mean, Aaron Nola wouldn't be a bad I guess a bad fallback. Blake Snell, I mean, he might be a little bit more than Yamamoto. That's why I have Yamamoto up, just slightly ahead of him. As far as position players, we talked about it the other day. There's not many guys out there and free agents. So I don't know. There's Jock Peterson. I mean, but I'm not too high on Jock Peterson.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's slim pickings out there.
Yeah. As I go through my guy Chris Kreisner, who is on Twitter, he says Anthony Rizzo said the Yankees have to ask themselves, why wasn't this clubhouse good enough? And he also believes that changes are needed, exploring some of these potential changes, including a big internal growth area, right? My guy JP Brooklyn also said the Yankees offseason is going to be all about money. Cashman and his genius damaged this team to a point where it can't be fixed in a traditional offseason. Spending and eating money correctly would help, but if it also shows that they're running out of options to turn it around. That point right there, you need to be able to spend money wisely, eat the money wisely, and you got to be able to turn things around. You got to be able to do something before it's too late. Like JP said, you're gonna come to a point, right, where all these options, you're going to start running out of them. You got to do what you can to get Stanton off of this roster. You got to do what you can to improve.
That's a big one.
Get younger, get more athletic. At the beginning of the season, when the Yankees had their first series against the San Francisco Giants, we started the season as the oldest roster and lineup in baseball. That's how we started the season. At the beginning of September, when Dominguez was in the lineup, Pereira was in the lineup, Austin Wells, the Yankees were the second to third youngest lineup in all of Major League Baseball. We have to find the perfect balance that is right in between. We can't be too old and we can't be too young. You can't have a young team going into the season, especially trying to bounce back after missing the playoffs. So like I said, you can't have a team that's too old and you definitely can't have a team that's too young. You got to find the right spot that's right in the middle. Cody Bellinger, he had a great season, a great bounce back season. He's going to want money. He's going to want years and he's going to want money. It's going to come down to what are we willing to give him when it comes to his contract, right? Yoshi seems like one of the best starting pitchers in the world. What is the contract? How will he transition from Japan over to the States? And can he handle pitching in New York City? We don't know yet. And then you got Juan Soto, who I think every Yankee fan, especially me, would love to see Juan Soto inside of Yankee Stadium, hitting right in front of Aaron Judge. Oh my God, that's a dream. That's a dream combination right there. But what are you willing to give up for Juan Soto? Because trading for Juan Soto, it's not going to be cheap. If you're the Padres, you're going to want back Jason Dominguez. Hell, you're going to want back Anthony Volpe as well. So we have to really ask ourselves, do we want to go all in with Juan Soto or wait till he become a free agent and then sign him in the free agency? TC, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, when it comes to Juan Soto, I think that's the route I'm taking. I'm waiting until after the 2024 season and pursue him in free agency because we could have Dominguez and Juan Soto in the outfield. I mean, how would that look? That would be pretty, and Judge. So that's what I'm talking about there. So I think there's guys out there that can fill in
also,
the gap until Juan Soto. Yeah.
I just want to say we got 65 people watching right now, and we're sitting on 37 likes. If you guys can run up those like buttons, let's get to at least 50. Smack that like button. Go ahead, TC. Yeah. I'm sorry for stepping on your toes. Go ahead.
No, bro. That's okay. It's okay. It's all good. But so that's what I'm doing on Soto. A funny thing I want to mention from the game, we were my dad and my brother were at the game on Sunday, go ahead. We're talking about free agents and guys that the Yankees like to sign. We're looking over there because we're at third baseline and we're like, Evan Longoria is a Cashman sign, way past the prime. had his good days, and he'll be like the Josh Donaldson 2.0. We'll bring him in, and he'll bat 200 and strike out 500 times a year. So I mean, it's we gotta get away from that. But just laughing about it, I think this is a prototypical Cashman signing, in free agency. So we got to get away from that.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Anna Marie, as well. But yeah, Evan Longoria would definitely be a Brian Cashman type of signing. He definitely would be. Listen, Evan Longoria, amazing career, right?
Right. He killed us. Killed us as a array.
Borderline Hall of Famer. I'm not too sure if he has the stats to get him into the Hall of Fame. Amazing glove and in his heyday when he was with Tampa Bay. He killed us, like you said, in the regular season. Amazing talent. But he's past his prime. He's at the end of his career. I'm not even sure if he'll play next season. He played sporadically this season, but hopefully Brian Cashman, he learns from his mistakes. That's all we got to say. That Brian Cashman just take a reflection over the past 5 years. It didn't work out. Just you can admit when you was wrong. But my issue is if we go into the 2024 season with minimum changes to the team and you have the same outcome, Hal Steinbrenner, you can't. There's no way to justify bringing back either Boone or Cashman. We'll give them the mulligan for this year. This season was the mulligan. Cool. You got your mulligan. It's out the way. What are you going to do next year? How are you going to improve this team for next season? And like the conversations I've had with Pete over the weekend, shout out to my brother Pete Simonetti, it's an easy fix. All you got to do is go out there and spend money. I know it's easier said than done because it's not my money. It's not TC's money. It's not anyone's in the chat's money. But go out there and spend your money and spend it wisely. That's all we're asking you for.
That's the key. Wisely. Right. You nailed it with that. I mean, you just throwing money at a player. I mean, we threw money at Stan. I mean, come on. We threw money at Josh Donaldson. I mean, awful players. It's got to be done wisely. I have a name on the free agent I just came across. Max Muncy. Is that a name? Is that a guy that you have your eye on? If the price is right.
A couple of seasons ago, maybe. But Max Muncy, I'm not sure. He's a lefty bat. He did put up great numbers when he was with the Dodgers.
Rizzo doesn't come back.
Like you said, it depends on what he wants. Shout out to my guy, Italy Jet, that's in the building, who says, I really think the Red Sox and Yankees will make the changes needed for next year. Absolutely, Italy, because both the Yankees and the Red Sox not making the postseason, on top of the Mets not making the postseason, the ratings are going to be down. I don't care what anybody says. This year, the postseason, the ratings are all going to be down.
Yeah.
Go ahead, T.
I feel like we're an alternate universe with the Red Sox and Yankees at the bottom and the Rays and the Orioles at the top. I mean, it doesn't look right. But yeah, I agree. I mean, the Red Sox aren't going to stand pat. So, we're going to have to be we're not going to be battling them as, for a Yamamoto or for a Bellinger. I mean, they're going to make moves. They're not going to
like Steve Schumann says, Muncy is 30. He's 33. Yeah. We got to get younger.
That's a Cashman move. That's a Cashman move.
That is a Cashman move.
Yeah.
I've seen,
older guys.
I've seen some people in the chat, right, talk about Juan Soto and his injuries. Yeah, injuries is a concern, right? You always want to be worried about injuries. But let's look at the games that Juan Soto played. In 2018, he got called up during the season, so he wasn't at the beginning of the season. Juan Soto played 116 games in 2018. In 2019, Juan Soto played 150 games. 2020 was the pandemic season, 60 games. Juan Soto played 47 out of 60 games. In 2021, Juan Soto played 151 games. Last year, in 2022, he played over 153 games. So since Juan Soto has been up here, minus the pandemic season and his rookie year, he's played over 150 games each season. I get it. You guys want to worry about injuries, but the injuries, he's still playing in games. TC, what's your thoughts on that when it comes to his
exactly?
Injuries?
And the best ability is, what is it? The best ability is availability.
Ness said, I heard the Yankees are interested in Nelson Cruz. Yeah, all right.
Miguel Cabrera
ahead,
also.
TC.
I think they're looking at bringing Miguel Cabrera out of retirement.
Word.
Yeah. So no, like I said, the best ability is availability, right? And he's on the field. He's there, 150, 160 games. I mean, but I mean, we know what Juan Soto is. So are we willing to give up the guys that are coming up in our system like a Volpe or Dominguez for Juan Soto? I don't know. I think that's a good question. But Juan Soto is just as young. What is he? 24, 25 years old. So if the price is right for Juan Soto, you might want to make that move. But again, he's got one more year. So I think we just wait to 2024 and we get him in 2025. We get him in free agency and still keep our prospects, still keep our Dominguez and Spencer Jones and Volpe. So everything depends on each other. So, the moves that we make are gonna affect the next move down the line. So it's just going to be an interesting offseason, and it better be a busy offseason. I'll tell you what, they can't wait till the end, and they got to be boom, boom, boom. They got to strike first and fast.
Well, we can look at it like this. If there's a trade to be made for Juan Soto, if we're going to argue that we're not going to trade Dominguez or Volpe, copy, then it would be Spencer Jones, Oswald Peraza, Everson Pereira, Chase Hampton, Drew Thorpe, Michael King, and Clark Smith. That would be the package for Juan Soto.
Seven for
that?
one, huh?
7 for 1.
If they throw in Josh Hader, I'll do it.
What happened?
Oh, wait, is he a free agent? Hader's a free agent, right?
Yeah, Josh Hader's a free agent.
Yeah. Seven players for Juan Soto. That's steep.
Listen. If Michael it's not Dominguez, if it's not Volpe, if it's not Dominguez or Volpe, then you're gonna have to entice them with a bunch of prospects, and you gotta entice them with Major League ready. So Major League ready will be Michael King, Clark Smith. Then you draw in Spencer Jones, Everson Pereira, Peraza is MLB ready, Chase Hampton, and Drew Thorpe. And they may want another prospect. They made ask for Roderick Arias to make it 8.
No,
so that'd be 8 prospects you would have to give up for Juan Soto.
I don't think it would take that many. I don't think so. I'm not trading 8 players.
But you got to look like this. We're looking at it as from the perspective of the New York Yankees and from the New York Yankee fan base. TC, you got to put yourself in the shoes of a fan from the Padres and someone that's in the front office. If you traded 6 to 8 prospects away to get Juan Soto, you're going to want 6 to 8 prospects back if you're going to trade Juan Soto. And the prospects that were giving up for Juan Soto, those were top 20, top 10 in Major League Baseball, top 30. Those were top 30 prospects. None of the Yankees prospects that I mentioned are top 30 or even top 50. That's why you have to add more to it. So it's like the casino.
For
you got
me,
to spend money
waiting
to play money.
Yeah, for me, I'm waiting till to the next season to pick them up in free agency. I'm waiting.
Also.
No way I'm giving. Yeah,
I'm waiting. Also, I'm definitely waiting. Also, I'm definitely waiting. Also, I think that's too much prospects when we could just wait to the off season, right? And if we wait to that off season and we sign Juan Soto, we can use those 8 players in other trades. We can use 2 of them to get a reliever. We can use 3 of them to get a starting pitcher if we have to. We can use 3 of them to get whatever position that we're lacking at that moment. But to trade all 8, 6 of them prospects, 5 prospect, 3 Major League ready players, and Peraza, King, and Smith, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, maybe if we
and I think everybody in the chat, I think we all agree.
Maybe we put Stanton in there. Maybe I'm doing it.
Now, I see L.I. Yankee King talking about Fernando Tatis. I love Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
I think Fernando Tatis Jr. is an amazing player. I'd rather Juan Soto than Fernando Tatis.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I definitely want.
Yeah.
Fernando Tatis has missed more games.
Yeah, I'm a little scared.
Than Juan Soto has missed in his career.
Yeah.
Best ability is availability. And the person that has that is more available out of those 2 is Juan Soto. And Juan Soto is a left-handed hitting outfielder. That's what we need in the stadium. A special Fernando Tatis is a special talent. If you had to ask me, who do I want? A right-hand hitting young superstar phenom or a left-handed hitting young superstar phenom? I'm taking the left-handed hitting, especially in Yankee Stadium. Especially in the Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, Juan Soto special. He's one once in a lifetime type guy. Like a Ohtani, a Judge, a Trout. They don't come around too often. And him, left-handed hitter in front of Judge. I mean, he's born to be a Yankee. I think after next season, I think he will be a Yankee. I do.
Yep. And Stefan B says different circumstances when Soto was traded. He had 2.5 years of control. Now down to a year cost. No, I'm not disagreeing you when it comes to that. But also the prospects that were traded for Juan Soto were top 10, top 20 prospects when you look at MLB pipeline. You got to look at where these prospects rank. The prospects for the Yankees aren't top 50 prospects. So as much as us fans, we value Spencer Jones at this level. We value Jason Dominguez. Cool. We may value them like that, but other teams don't. That's what I'm saying. Our prospects, none of our prospects that I mentioned are top 50. They're lucky to even be top 70 prospects. That's what I'm saying. You're going to have to add more to them since the prospects that we're going to give up is not the same amount of prospects or value the same like they got in return. Washington got back when they traded Juan Soto. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. And honestly, none of these guys are impressing me. They're all batting 200 or less. So
yeah,
we'll find out next season what happens.
We'll keep the wish list going in the off season. This is what we're going to do this off season. We're going to have a Yankees 2024 wish list, and it will every player that's available that we want will be added to that wish list. And let's see if Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner do the right thing and actually listen to us fans when it comes to who we want. Shout out to my guy Philo Ramos, who says MLB top prospect ranking sucks. Yeah, it definitely does. That's why I normally like to ESPN. I know Dane Huber always trusts his ESPN. So whatever my guy Dane, whatever Julian trusts, whatever Nathan trusts, whatever Sandy's trusts, whatever Carlos trusts, that's what I'm watching when it comes to these prospects. The guys that I mentioned, the folks that I mentioned, when it comes to Carlos, when it comes to Dane, Sandy, Julian, Nathan, they cover the Yankees minor league system. They're out there at Somerset. They're out there at Scranton. They're using their eyes. So if they tell me that the MLB pipeline is not very reliable, watch ESPN's pipeline. I'm going to trust ESPN's pipeline. Shout out to my guy Steve Schumann in the chat who says Jones has to improve on his strikeouts before I could take him seriously, at least to this point. No, absolutely. That's the one thing when it comes to Spencer Jones in his game, he has to work on is his strikeouts. But let's switch the topics up, right? Let's switch it up. We got 2 more topics to talk about before we get out of here, or 3 more topics. We got to talk about Aaron Boone and his future with the team. Aaron Boone was asked yesterday. Yeah, we still got to talk about him. I'm sorry. Aaron Boone on managing the Yankees beyond the 2023 season. According to Brian Hoach, shout out to my guy Brian Hoach, this is what Aaron Boone had to say. I don't worry about it. It's out of my hands. It's complete. I'm completely comfortable with who I am and the things I can control. In my mind, I'm doing everything to head into the offseason prepared to put us in a better position to try to compete for a championship. That's what the goal is. And ultimately, they take that away. That's my focus. Listen, when it comes to Aaron Boone, like I said earlier, both Boone and Cashman will be back. Next year will be the ultimate tested year for Aaron Boone and for Brian Cashman. Yeah, but when it comes to Boone, he's been ejected this season how many times? He sticks up for his players. This is what you want from a manager. You want a manager who's going to stick up for their players, who's going to defend their players when they're struggling, ultimately not point the finger and blame the players for not performing at the level they are supposed to perform at. If you want to criticize Boone when it comes to his bullpen managing, copy. How he manages the bullpen has been horrible. He brings in Nick Ramirez in a tie game. We all know Nick Ramirez is going to give up a run like he did yesterday. But besides that, Aaron Boone's not my choice. You guys know I've been very vocal. I would have rather Tony Pena be the manager, not Aaron Boone. But if he comes back next year, I'm still going to root for him because, like my boy Pete says, that's my Boonie. And if anyone's going to pick on my Boonie, it's going to be me. I'm going to pick on my Boone. You guys can. Shout out to my guy, Macho King, that's in the building. Hey, Macho, what it do? Salute, salute, salute.
Yeah.
TC, what's your thoughts on that one? Matter of fact, before you go, TC, my guy Chris Kreisner as well from Twitter, who said he asked Aaron Boone if the team needs to revamp their training methods to better hit fastball. This is what Boone had to say. That's something to be discussed. Part of it is look what happened to our roster, but how we train and get guys ready will be one of those things we dive into heavily. Go ahead, TC. What's your thoughts on both of Boone's quotes?
Yeah, with Aaron Boone, I think we're all done with all his antics and his, strike, all that. I think we're kind of fed up with all his just his character. It just he just gets under my skin. It's just he really. I honestly don't think that it's coming from him. He can't be this dumb when it comes to managing. Some of the moves are just horrible, and it's I believe he's just reading analytics. He's flipping through the book. The lineups are made for him every day. Yes,
definitely,
I agree.
Dog.
Yep, and I'm all for Willie Randolph for sure, but the Yankees, they want this type of guy now. Look at what they did. They moved on from Joe Girardi to Aaron Boone. And Joe Girardi was in your face. He held the guys accountable. He gets let go after winning the World Series, getting to the World Series, one game away. And then they bring in Aaron Boone, just a yes man, just to, have the safe space for the players because they complained they were getting, it was too hard. They were too hard on us. I mean, that's ridiculous. You're playing baseball, for God's sake. You're a grown man, grow a pair, because this is a man, a kid's game, but you're getting paid to play it. Just live up to your contract or whatever. It's just I can't take this anymore. This babying of these players and no accountability. I mean, they'll just bring in another Aaron Boone. The way the philosophy of this front office, Willie Randolph, they'll probably just he's not the guy we want. We want a younger guy that's just gonna look at the books and go along with the program. And it's just too bad. The days of the Billy Martins and the Earl Weavers and Sparky Anderson, they're gone. The manager's not managing anymore. It's from the top, from GM and down and analytics. So it's too bad. I mean, we got to sit through this, and it's just I don't know. No more Boone. This is the make or break year for him. This is enough.
For me, when it comes to Boone, and I seen we had another $2 super chat from my guy Yankee Frankie, who said the Yankees need to trade Stanton. Shout out to my guy Yankee Frankie, and shout out to everybody that donates super chats to the channel. You guys actually help us out tremendously when it comes to background stuff, when it comes to paying for graphics, when it comes to paying for StreamYard. So we appreciate you. But when it comes to Boone, I think Boone, he needs a bench coach that's a former manager. He needs the Ron Washington as his bench coach. He needs a Willie Randolph as his bench coach. He needs someone that was an old school manager that with this new school philosophy coming in, that old school manager had to take the step back and become a bench coach or become second tier to the manager. That's what Aaron Boone needs. He needs that veteran baseball mind that used to be managing back in the days in the 90s and the early 2000s, the mid 2000s, the early 2010s before the switch up happened with analytics. That's what Aaron Boone needs next to him. He needs an old school manager that could be that voice in his ear with him, so you can have the blend between the old school and the new school. My guy Li Yankee King with the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate that. The reason I want Tatis is because of Hal's money. He's not going to spend $50 million and get Yamamoto / Tatis for the price of Soto. I don't know what that means. Yamamoto. I don't know what that. I don't know what he means by that. Yeah, I'm trying really hard to understand what he was meaning by that. But anywho, shout out to my guy D-Rod in the chat who says, "Good point, Hector. That's why the Jays got Manningley as their bench coach." Absolutely.
That's right.
D-Rod, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think someone brought up analytics. My guy Blue Gold, always with the analytics. But like DNC says, analytics is how you get a different lineup every day. That's not no way to manage the team.
Nope.
And you guys know how I feel when it comes about analytics. Analytics, I look at it as just advanced scouting, right? You can have all the advanced scouting in the world. You can have all the analytics you want. If you do not have, and I'm going to keep on hitting on this point, if you do not have the right people in place to take that data, to interpret it, and to actually put it into play on the field, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You need to have the right people in place who could take that data and put it into practice. If you just have analytics being force-fed to your coaching and the coaching staff doesn't know how to understand or interpret the analytics, what are you doing? That's why I think Sean Casey is a perfect blend to understand the analytics with the old school approach. Sean Casey, I think, is a perfect hitting coach to have. You need to have a better first base coach who actually works with the fielders. You need to have a better third base coach who understands, okay, this guy's in left, this guy's in center, this guy in right. When can I send the runners? When can I not send the runners? Rojas this year, he did way better than Phil Nevin did as a third base coach.
Yeah.
But even with me saying that he did better than Phil Nevin as a third base coach, the bar is very low.
Very low.
Because Phil Nevin did a horrible job as a third base coach.
We remember those days.
I'm not sure if the Yankees are going to move on from Rojas or they're bringing him back to be the third base coach. But next year, whoever's the third base coach has to do a better job this season recognizing when to send the runners and when not to send the runners. I know if Giancarlo Stanton is on second base, and even if the ball is hitting the gap to the wall, I'm not sending him around the base because he cannot run to save his life. What's your thoughts, TC?
Yeah, I love all the fire on that. Yeah. The base running has improved because I remember the days when they were making, I don't know, 10, 15 outs at home, blunders all over the bases. I mean, they still have their moments, but yeah, that definitely is improved. They do need a baseball mind, sit next to Aaron Boone. I'd like to see, some old managers or some old, guys that have been around 90s, 2000s managers or, ex-hitting coaches or somebody with some knowledge on where to position guys, discuss lineups. I mean, just stop looking at analytics, just printing out a lineup. You got to have some consistency. The guys got to know I'm lead off center field every day. Boom, boom. Just not. I don't know where I'm. Am I fifth? Am I ninth? Am I second? Am I at first? Am I on left? That has to stop. We got to get guys that have set positions and set lineups like the dynasty days. There was no jumbling up lineups left and right.
Nope.
That's got to stop. It's got to stop.
And we need to have balance in our lineup. We need to have
left,
balance.
Right, left,
we need to
right.
have left-handed.
Yep.
Left, right, left, right. Throw some switch hitters in there to switch it up.
Yep.
We can't have five batters in a row be right-handed hitters. We can't have that. We can't have the 3, 4, 5. We can't have the 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 spot in our lineup all be right-handed hitters. We can't have that. We have to have variety. We have to have parity to the lineup. You have to have a balance. You have to make it hard for the opposing manager to try to navigate your lineup in a late game situation. If you have 5 right-handed batters from your 2-hole going all the way down to your 6-hole, if you have 5 right-handed batters, you're setting it up easy for the manager to navigate your lineup late in the game. If you want to talk about analytics, that's analytics right there.
Right.
Being able to have a lineup that makes it hard for the opposing manager to navigate late in the game. If you have all righties, you're making it easier for that manager just to put a right-handed hitter, a right-handed pitcher out of the bullpen, the nastiest one they have.
Yeah, well, I mean,
You're
they
not going to
just
win
care about
many series
launch
like that.
angle, and velocity. That's their analytics, and that's why they do it. Boom, boom, boom. All these guys have high exit velo and a good launch angle, and it's basically, I know it's mentioned in the chat, it's home run or nothing. That's all I see. It's boring baseball. We went Sunday, they did nothing. They didn't hit a home run. Friday, if we would have went Friday, Aaron Judge 3 home runs, they win the game. Sunday, no home runs, no run scored. They got to get away from that. They don't. They got to move runners. They got to know how to score with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, make contact, shorten up swings. They got to change the philosophy. Sorry, this team, this all or nothing home run is, they got to trash. Throw it up, ball it up, trash it. It's over with.
Yeah. Just want to shout out my guy Riff that's in the chat. Shout out to my guy Riff. Salute. 3 capital S's. Let's switch it up and let's talk about our last 2 topics. We got to talk about Peraza, because Peraza, he's been showing us some things. With what we've seen from Peraza, are you comfortable going into next season as him being the starting third baseman? My guy Max Goodman on Twitter said Peraza is hitting 290. He has 8 extra base hits in his last 18 games. Aaron Boone came out and says, you never know what's going to happen this winter as far as roster construction, trade, who comes in free agency, and all those things. It's just a matter of, can his bat continue to come along? He had a home run yesterday that was 443 feet he hit. Longest home run of his career. TC, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, Oswald Peraza, I see him with the team next year. He's a future. He's he kept the leg kick. That's what it was. The Yankees tried to stop him from using that leg kick, and ever since he's been raking. He's been hitting 298 extra base hits. I mean, that's good. That's what I'd love to see, a 290 hitter in this lineup. I've yet to see one all season. I don't even think last season. So, great arm at third. If we can't get anybody at third, I don't see third as a weakness. I see Peraza and Volpe there, short and third. That's a good combo. Again, we don't know what's happening at second, if they're going to move on with Glaber, or we'll see. But Oswald Peraza has a future here, and Hal even said it himself. So, yeah, he's here to stay. I think give him a good off season. Whatever he needs to do, get with Casey, and his glove is fine. I'm fine with his glove. Improve the hitting, and we got a special one right there at third.
Like my guy Ryan, shout out to Ryan from Fireside Yankees. They do amazing work as well over there. Make sure you guys go and follow Fireside Yankees. But Ryan Garcia, who is big into analytics, this is one of the Yankee fans that are out there that actually know what they're talking about when it comes to analytics. So my guy Ryan says Oswald Peraza has a 28.9% O swing, a 75.6% Z swing, with 120 max exit velo off his back. It's clear he has above average when it comes to raw power. Solid enough contact rates. I'm not sure he's going to find it when it comes to finding his offensive stroke. But the one thing that tells you if an organization is good or not, if an organization can unlock the potential of a young hitter, and if the Yankees this offseason, if they can unlock Oswald Peraza going into 2024, I think we will be set up for a good season going into 2024. But it all depends on the Yankees front office if they're able to unlock this kid. It's all going to come down to the Yankees coaching staff. And that's why I think it's very important that the Yankees, before the offseason even gets going, before the playoffs is done, the Yankees need to address their coaching situation before going into the offseason. What's your thoughts on that, TC, before we get ready to wrap things up?
Yeah, I agree. All the way around. Scouting, coaching, minor leagues. Even we mentioned the medical staff. I mean, this outside organization needs to come to Hal and say, this needs to change. And these coaches seem to want to change these players, and I think they're we've seen it in a couple, with Volpe swing and with Peraza, and they want to change, the release points of some of these pitchers. These guys in AAA are doing fine. They get to the major leagues. Why you want to tweak stuff? Just leave them alone. With Peraza, if he starts going the other way, I see that he doesn't try. Same with Volpe. If they just start using the opposite field, these guys, their averages are going to go up and up and up. You can't be pull happy. You got to go where the pitch is, pitched outside. Go with it, and you got to work with him on that. A couple tweaks here and there, but leave his kick, his leg kick alone. We're seeing a lot of good signs here at the end of the season, so I'm really looking forward to next season with these young kids.
No, definitely. And that's the thing. As bad as this season was, because this season ultimately was bad, we saw some stuff in September to show that it's truly not horrible when it comes to our future.
The record
Austin
we had.
Wells. Huh? What happened? What you said?
The record. Look at the record. We were 17 and 9.
17 and 9 over the last 26 games. Best record in baseball. Like I said, 17 and 9. So it goes to show you when you inject some youth into the lineup, good things may happen. Shout out to my guy DSJ that's in the chat. One of the only trolls in the Knicks universe we love is my guy Delano Still Jr. Shout out to DSJ. I can't wait for
around the corner
to come back.
Here we go.
But no, this is the last thing I'm gonna say before we get out of here.
Yeah. When
it comes to the 2024 Yankees, right? The ending of the 2023 season, it gives us some hope when it comes, and it allows us to be optimistic for next season. Whether that's Everson Pereira, whether that's Austin Wells, whether that's Peraza, Volpe, Cabrera, or whether that's Jason Dominguez when he comes back for injury. We have some hope. There's some hope down the pipeline. Now, it's up to the front office to get creative during the offseason and actually making some moves to improve this team. That's what it's all going to come down to. This front office getting creative, going outside the box, and doing things that they're not normally used to doing. Like I said, the philosophy that was implemented in 2018 and 2019 with Dylan Lawson, that ain't work out. Out. Let's take that, let's bottle it up, throw it in the garbage, and let's go back to an old school approach. TC, what's your last words before we get out of here, brother? And shout out to my guy Rod Thompson that's in the chat. Rod, I missed you Saturday, baby. I missed you, bro. Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, you summed it up. We just got to ball up that philosophy, throw it away, and find some consistency. Get these players in the right positions. Stop moving them all around. Got to make some very wise decisions this offseason. Bring in the right pieces, 2-3 pieces. Move these other guys around. Have a consistent lineup together, and no more getting everybody else's trash, dumpster diving. Those days are over. So let's be smart this off season. Work with their young kids. Keep on them this all the off season training, and hopefully Sean Casey's able to get with these guys. They got their feet wet, as you say, in the big leagues. So it's going into next year. It's not like it's going to be a shell or a future shock. They know what to expect. They've been here, done that. So it's it's a bright future, and looking forward to it. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm definitely. Just want to tell you guys, the Yankees got, like I said, we got 3 games left against the Blue Jays, 3 games left against Kansas City. This week will be your normal schedule for Yankees Morning Brew, but starting next week, we may cut it down to 1 or 2 episodes out of the week, depending on how much of the news that's out there. So make sure you guys keep on tuning in. Like I said, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat. My guy L.I. Yankee King, Uncle Tats from the Pinstripe Chronicles, Angel G. Serrano, my guy Dan C. Macho Kings, Dr. Hitskins, Dane Huber is in the building, my guy Dane Wooded Good, my guy Rasard Thompson, Jerry Cadell, Big Time Jerry, Anthony Medina, mi hermano de la isla was in the building, Jonathan was in the building, DSJ, Delano Steele, my guy Ness, the baseball guy, of course, my guy Gio, Unpopular Opinion.
There's
my
Carlos.
Guy
Carlos with a K.
Where's Carlos with a K at? I didn't see
He's in there.
Carlos with a K. My guy, what it do? Shout out my guy Carlos with a K. We appreciate everyone. The Big Blue and the Bronx podcast. Alex and Lewis. Yes. Shout out to my guy.
Very nice meeting you guys.
Like always, salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. It's been a great conversation. But like always, TC, we got to hit him with the deuces. Deuces.